Kimi released the weights for a 2.8 trillion parameter model. The download is real. 96 weight files, about 1.56 terabytes. Technically, it is open. Practically, your laptop is not the target hardware. So what did Kimi actually open? Can you inspect it, change it, host it, and leave Kimi completely? Or is this still cloud AI with downloadable paperwork? The answer sits behind four walls: rights, physics, software, and cost. This is not a promise of future access. The weights, configuration, processor, and loading code are published now. K3 is a mixture of experts with 2.8 trillion parameters in total. Roughly 104 billion are active for each token. 16 routed experts fire out of 896. The license grants real freedoms. You can use, copy, modify, distribute, deploy, and fine-tune the model. You can build derivatives. But it is a custom license. A model service business above $20 million in 12-month revenue needs a separate agreement, and very large products carry an attribution condition. Here is the terminology catch. Kimi publishes the weights and describes broad training domains, but the OSI definition asks for detailed data provenance and the complete training code needed to rebuild an equivalent system. The public release does not establish all of that. Open weight is the precise claim, and that still matters. Sparse does not mean small. Only 16 experts work on one token, which reduces computation, but the next token can choose different experts. AMD's deployment notes that the complete expert weights must remain resident across the parallel system. Compute is sparse, storage is not. AMD validated one K3 instance on 8 MI355X accelerators. Each carries 288 GB of high bandwidth memory. At the full 1 million token context, AMD estimates about 205.4 GB used per GPU before several runtime overheads. That is the official class of machine. You can download those files from a laptop. That is not the same as holding the model in memory, feeding its experts fast enough, or serving useful tokens. More aggressive community compression can shrink the footprint, but it also changes the model and the quality question. The official K3 release remains infrastructure scale. The most extreme public example proves the scale. One community conversion compresses K3 to roughly 527 GB across 94 files. Its own author says the model does not load in a released llama.cpp build and could not be fully quality tested without more compute. Impressive engineering, not a consumer release. The software wall is much lower. Moonshot recommends VLLM, SG-Lang, and token speed. Hugging Face exposes runnable examples. The endpoint can speak the OpenAI and Anthropic formats. If you own the hardware, you do not need Kimi's service to operate the model. Independence does not require every company to buy that machine. Moonshot's own verifier already lists Fireworks, Base 10, Together, DigitalOcean, Inferact, Nebius, and Modal beside its official endpoint. Several offer OpenAI-compatible access, and some offer dedicated deployments. Most developers will exercise freedom by switching clouds, not by leaving the cloud. The public API removes the capital bill. Per million tokens, Kimi charges 30 cents for cached input, $3 for uncached input, and $15 for output. Fireworks and Modal list the same shared rates. At low or irregular usage, a dedicated cluster has to beat a very small meter. There is no honest universal break-even number. It depends on the cluster utilization, power, networking, engineering time, and how much idle capacity you carry. Self-hosting becomes rational when traffic stays high, control is valuable, or data rules justify the operations burden. Open weights create that option. They do not make it automatically cheap. Kimi's own recommendation gives away the practical answer. For routine development, use the 256K version. Kimi says it delivers the same results inside that context range while consuming about half the quota of the 1 million token version. Even Kimi treats maximum context as specialized infrastructure. The strongest counter-argument is correct. Local is not the only freedom that matters. Researchers can inspect the architecture. Companies can fine-tune it. Providers can compete on price, location, privacy, and speed. Governments can deploy it inside their own boundary. A model can be inaccessible to your laptop and still weaken one company's control. So the accessibility score cannot be 1%. The weights pass. The license is broad but conditional. Tooling and provider independence pass. Hardware, dedicated cost, and local use fail for ordinary developers. Change the audience, and the same release changes meaning. Researchers gain access. Infrastructure companies gain a product. Startups gain provider choice. The verdict. K3 is open for researchers. It is independently hostable for infrastructure companies. For a normal developer, it is an API model with downloadable rights, not a meaningfully local model. Kimi opened control over the model. physics still decides who can make that control local.